two like major changes is the Shotcaller change and the AD carries, like they don't spike as early, so people stop playing AD carries really.
Hey guys, Parks Owsley here from the Shotcaller, joined by Svenskeren after your first game of the split. Kind of a bummer, you guys. You had kind of a rough start at the very beginning, going down, and then you kind of clawed your way back in, and then couldn't close it out. But before we get into much of that, I want to know, what was the off-season like for you guys? It was kind of a longer off-season for you. You weren't in Miami. You didn't go to MSI, so you had kind of more time to rest and kind of, maybe figure out this crazy meta. So what was that process like for you?
I mean, the meta didn't really start before we started scrimming again. It was like a month ago, which we were already scrimming a month before that. The 8.11 patch, which created like all these different metas, but I mean, it was definitely pretty tough not going to MSI or even like playoffs finals because the break was so long. I haven't had a break this long in I don't know how long, maybe since I was a pro player, where I had like 3 months off, and it's just like so much time to rest, and I'm just pretty happy to be back playing again and just being on stage.
That's great. So almost like too long of a break. You're really kind of itching to get back. Well, congrats, you're here. So let's talk about the game and the meta specifically. It is obviously very different. Last year when we started, or the spring when we started, we had these really long, drawn-out games, and now it seems like it's moving pretty quick. So what does that do for you in the jungle, for your position? How are you looking at the game differently and trying to press the pace, push it forward?
I mean, there's two like major changes is the Shotcaller change and the AD carries, like they don't spike as early, so people stop playing AD carries really. I mean, you can still play it like AD carries, but I think most people right now are just experimenting with like a lot of different mages in the bot lane, which I think makes the game a lot more fun right now, at least because it's not as figured out. Whereas at MSI, you kind of know like who's gonna win if they have like a 2k gold lead, and like the game is like already over like minute 10 because you just kind of know the steps how to win the game, right? But if there's new picks in like every role, and the game is just like a lot faster now, so you get like I guess a lot more fights early game where it's just more fun to play and probably watch. Where the Scuttles introduce like a lot of fighting as well in the game and makes the picks a lot more early game focused. Whereas before you could just pick for late game and like just trying to scale. But right now, if you don't get the Scuttles, then you kind of lose out on a lot of early game.
So, and I always, or when I first saw the meta developing, specifically in the other regions who've already been playing on it, I thought of you as kind of someone who could maybe take advantage of this early game, since a lot of our favorite memories of you is on Lee Sin and making a lot of early game aggressive moves. And I originally thought, oh well, that's great. They have a bot lane who's very solid. They can go even, and they can just kind of keep them at bay if they have a losing matchup or whatever. And they have Jensen, who's been playing very, much more towards the team than he used to. And so I was kind of like envisioning this, put Svenskeren on Lee or on Master Yi or something, and just have him go crazy. But then you guys made this really big roster change, and I can see like maybe they have a better understanding of these mages bot or of the different meta shift. But how did that then kind of influence you and your play style, and then the rest of the team, obviously, with these 3 new people?
So with the change in the roster, it makes my voice more important because we have more new players on the team, whereas before Sneaky, Smoothie, and Jensen would kind of be veterans and like know what to do. But we have a lot of like new, like fresh blood kind of in the team, so it makes the game more energetic, and we have more energy in just like in our comms and like making proactive plays, which I feel like is pretty positive. But I mean, we lost early game like pretty hard because of the level 1, so I think this game was can't say too much about it because we actually did make pretty good comeback plays, which I'm pretty happy about. So I mean, can't really judge too much about the roster from this one game.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely too soon. But I guess you do feel like you have a pretty solid grip on what the team wants to do, with these guys or maybe with the other ones. So that's good. What are you most excited about in this new meta for the team? Like, is it more exciting having kind of you can play anything and it works, or do you prefer kind of like, a script of like, okay, I play this if they play that, I play this if they play that?
Yeah, so the jungle is like kind of figured out. Like there's a lot of like bruisers in the jungle right now, whereas it's more like bot lane that just like screws over the game really, where the scrims might not be as productive because every game is just a new bot lane pick, which I don't really like because then you have an AD carry player who don't really know how to play all those champs, right? So he's trying to pick them up, and you just don't have enough time to pick up like 5 or 6 new champions in the bot lane, right? Which I don't really like that much, but I mean it's fun for me where I get to play bruisers and like strong early game champs. But I think it's just like a lot about lane priority right now, whereas you can snowball the game if you have like counter picks in lanes. If you get the scuttles because of the counter picks, then yeah, you're gonna be pretty far ahead.
And one thing I was wondering about how you get advantages is with the draft now, because normally we would have said that the blue side probably has the advantage, but I'm curious if with having the last pick and with having you get to pick 2 people first and then the last pick of the first round, does that create any advantage for the red side that like exists in this meta that didn't exist before?
I mean, I think the both sides always has like pros and cons, where like if you can set up the draft somehow that there's 1 OP pick, then blue side has the advantage where you first pick it, but if you can set it up so there's 2 OP picks, obviously red side has the advantage. But I mean, I don't really go into draft too much because it's my coach's job, so I just tell him what I think is strong and then we like draft around that. Cool.
Thanks. So I'm excited to see what you can do. I'm excited to see like how the new team is working out. So best of luck with that. Thanks for the interview. And that does it for us. So we'll see you next time. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to check out more of our content on the Shotcaller, you can click here or right there. And if you would like, please comment below. Let us know what you liked about this video or what you want to see in future videos. And we would love to hear back from you guys. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.